Hello and welcome, everybody. It's another fantastic day in this shitty world that we live in. If you haven't heard any of the news today and anything that's going on, somebody that I follow and I think is just absolutely a brilliant person, and just super smart. A great and brilliant and smart and fantastic debater was taken from us today. Charlie Kirk, if you don't know who he is, please look him up on YouTube and just go watch a lot of his past stuff. So I'm a little pissed off because basically what that tells me is the world we live in is just a big giant bucket of shit. And that we can't even, debate or, go against other people's views and stuff and without somebody having to be a piece of shit and break out a long-range rifle and shoot somebody and kill them because they got their little fucking feelings hurt. And it just makes me want to vomit because I really enjoyed a lot of the stuff that he did. I loved watching him go in and debate people and just give factual information, and it just pissed him off. And they just got their little feelings hurt because he couldn't handle it. Whether they were transgender or if this their political views or anything that had to do with anything, really, because he didn't really care on what he debated about. He just tell you to pick your topic. He didn't care whether it was history or political or, racism, transgenderism, any of that just shit that's out there. It's just so mind-boggling today on where we're at as a society. It's just this, I caught it at the, it came across basically the wire at work today, and, I heard what happened, and I just really, anybody, there's a lot of people that I dislike, okay? I don't like what they say, and I try not to get too political about it, but, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and the whole administration, and those guys and how they completely wrecked our fucking country, and I know that they wrecked our fucking country, and I know exactly what they did, and they try to play it off like they're just out there for the people, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what it was. I don't want them to be hurt or shot or any of that shit, just it's just blows my mind. I have no desire for any of that. I don't like them. I don't like their views. I don't like what they say. I think 90% of the shit that comes out of their mouth is just shit. I don't believe in half the shit that they talk about, but that doesn't make me want to be out there and go out and be a monster, and try to find some way to, have an assassination or something like that. It's just, this world is just so fucked up. I just don't get it anymore. You can't do anything without somebody getting their feelings hurt, and nobody's willing to do anything, either battle with their mouth or battle with their fists, because they're too much of a pussy to sit there and take up for their own shit. They got to go use a gun, or they got to use some kind of a weapon and use that as their stepping stone to take matters into their own hands. Well, you know what? Fuck them. And yeah, this is going to be kind of an angry podcast, but if you want to change it, fucking change it. I don't really care. This podcast is for me and my views, and if you like my views, fantastic. If you don't, well, I don't really give a shit about that either. So, I believe what I believe, and a lot of things that I see, I believe in things that I can see, touch, and feel. You know what I'm saying? And in this world, it just got everything you see, you feel, and you touch, man. It's like everything is just shit now. I just don't understand it. And maybe somebody out there can sit there and maybe leave a comment or listen and whatever, send an email. I'm sure you can find it on my YouTube channel. I think it's on there. It's the Joey Acker, at gmail.com or whatever. But it just, a man now just lost his life because he was basically doing a deal, his tour, to debate people, prove him wrong, which they're fantastic, man. They're funny, but they're real. And you can fact check the guy because he's right, like on almost every damn thing he talks about. And he doesn't read from script. That's all in his brain, which just blows my fucking mind, on how well he can retain shit. But he's at some Utah university, and I'm just so pissed off, man. I'm so angry. Now his wife is a widow, and he's got a little girl and a little baby boy, and I can just vomit. I could just throw up at what is going through their world right now. I could, you can sit there and speculate, but man, you got no fucking clue, man. Their whole world just got completely turned upside down because somebody's feelings got fucking hurt. And they had to fucking shoot a man because they're too much of a pussy to get up there and debate him, because you know why they won't debate him, because they know they'll get their ass fucking smacked on their stupid ass views. And it's really just absolutely disgusting, the level of hatred and hate is in this world today. Evil's real. It was said best by somebody earlier I saw on television. Evil's real, man. Wake up, because it's there. And you got to basically watch your fucking six no matter what you do, and watch what you say. You got to be careful. Don't say too much, because if you say too much, somebody may take you out. And that's pretty fucked up, because nobody's willing to either take a standardized ass whooping or take a verbal ass whooping. They'll just take it to their arms or whatever they got to do, and take you out. Well, that's just a fucking sheer cowardism. And that motherfucker that shot him today, I hope, and I posted on Facebook on my feed, I hope they find that motherfucker. And I hope that they basically put him in a very, very dark hole. And I don't want him to die. I don't want him to die. I want him to suffer. And I mean fucking suffer. I want him to beg for death. I want him to beg for death. Because what he did and what he did to others is he basically his wife is got nothing now, and his kids don't have a father to grow up with, and there's nothing you could do. There's nothing that you could ever say or do to make anything right out of the situation and what it was. And we're just way too soft as a country. We are way too soft as a country. Other countries, they chop your hands off. That shit's still real, just letting you know. That's real. Rape a woman. Yeah, well, goodbye private parts. I'm just saying, we're just way too fucking soft as a country. And it pisses me off, when it comes to things like that. If you could just, and it'll never happen, but if you could just make examples of somebody and make sure that it's out of, young children's eyes, to let people see what would happen to you if you were to do shit like this, and how they would basically handle you, it'd change everything. It'd change everything. I told my wife that, and she said, "No, that's never going to happen, honey." She goes, "That's the world we live in that's never going to." I know it's never going to happen. But it just breaks my heart, man. Those little kids know that their dad was out doing something, and he's never coming home. He's never going to come home. So if you're listening to this podcast and you think about it, I don't give a shit what direction and what world you live down, and if your feelings get fucking hurt or you fucking cry because somebody said something fucking to you, you know what? Let me tell you something. Look at yourself and look over at your loved one and just watch them walk out one day and them never come back because some fucking piece of shit took them out. And you tell me how you'd feel. I'd feel absolutely devastated if my wife went out and never came back because some shithead took her out. One of my kids, whatever. But I tell you what, if something like that happened to my wife or my kids, you can't hide. I'll find you. I'll find you. You know, it just breaks my heart, and it really sucks. And I just had to do a quick podcast about this on Charlie Kirk, and it just saddens me, but he's a very brilliant man, and if you've never heard of him, you should really go listen to his stuff and check out his stuff. It's Turning Point, and he does a lot of stuff on YouTube, and I mean, he's got, you could sit there and watch him for months. He's got so many of them, but he's just really smart, and he just really had his stuff, and it was nice to watch somebody that really kind of came from a whole lot of nothing and just created something and created his own realm, and somebody had to come and fuck it up and take it all away. With that, I need a sip of my beer. Oh, that's delicious. So, that being off my mind, yes, I'm pissed off. And it's not just Charlie Kirk. That just set me off today because I really enjoyed what he did. I could sit and watch, an hour of his videos or 2 hours of his videos and just listen to the way he debates people. Just super smart. He didn't read from a teleprompter or a script. Just super, super cool how he could handle himself from his own intelligence level and how badass he truly was. Well, Charlie Kirk, I just want to tell you one thing. I'm sorry that happened to you, and I hope that, maybe you're in a better place. I wish you were still here because I know that you had a lot of work that could have been badass, and you could have potentially worked your way up, and the way that you held yourself, you could have been somebody really, really super special and maybe made a big fucking change in this country. With that being said, to your wife and your kids, there's nothing anybody can say or do, but you lost an amazing person. And it's just sickening. It's just fucking sickening. Anyway, it's not just Charlie. It's the Donald Trump thing. It's any of these cowardice shit that goes on, from terrorism to any of that crap that's out there. I just think that we're too soft on these people that do this stuff. That young girl that was stabbed on the subway by some jackass, the Ukrainian girl, I think she was. I just ran across it. I'd never even heard of it. She just was sitting there minding her own business. Some fucking jackass got a pocket knife out and just stabbed the shit out of her. Killed her right there on the fucking subway, and everybody just sat there and watched. I mean, what is wrong with this fucking country, man? What is wrong with this? Nobody wants to do anything to help anybody. If it doesn't benefit you, it's like nobody wants to do it. And it just makes me sick. It just makes me sick to be a species of how we handle ourselves. Not only are we fucking this whole world up for ourselves, the world doesn't give a shit about us. We're just fucking it up for ourselves. Not only we're fucking it up. I mean, everything that we do, everything that we make, everything is just, it doesn't matter. We make it us. It's like we are an intelligent species, so the world's ours. Everything else doesn't fucking matter. Whatever we see fit, and however our mind is moving, and however... Anyway, I'm not going to rant much more. I just had to get some of this shit off. I needed a little therapy, and I needed to throw it down on a podcast because just really not happy because I really liked listening to Charlie Kirk. And I didn't know that he was actually out doing his tour, which would have been fantastic because I would have gotten some updates saying that he got some new fucking content out, and I could listen to him basically debate people and power slam them because it's just awesome and how he could do that with his intelligence level and how he just knows because of things that are fact and true and what he read, and he could retain things like a madman. And we won't get no more of that. So anyway, Charlie Kirk, we're going to miss you, and I wish that you were still around. Anyway, that being said, I'm not going to beat this, into the ground. I just want everybody to know that Charlie Kirk, go check him out. YouTube, Charlie Kirk. I can't do the chicken shit that goes on in this world. So if you feel the same way, just put it down in the comments or anything like that, and tell me how you feel about how it all goes down. So, yeah, until the next podcast, you guys be good, be safe, and watch your fucking six, because shit, you never know who's out there. And if you say anything that turns anybody sideways, fuck, man, you better wear a vest. I'm out.